Good morning, everyone. I am Yerusa, and I'll be talking about Final Draft. And this is like a little beginner's guide to screenwriting. So this is kind of just the gist of what we'll cover. There's a lot with Final Draft itself, so I thought I'd just go over kind of basic screenplay elements and stuff that'll kind of be easier to tackle. And so we'll go through what a screenplay is, just those basic screenplay elements, how to use Final Draft and just the interface itself. And then I thought it would be fun if we did like a tiny little table read of one of my pages. So what is a screenplay? I included the Merriam-Webster definition. It says it's the script and often shooting directions of a story prepared for movie production. So it's basically just a blueprint for movies and TV shows, and really just focuses on the visual and the sound, so what we see and hear. And it has to be written in a very specific format. And there is the question of why? Why do we follow a specific format for this? And the reason why we do that is because it makes it easier for everybody else to follow. So when people need to prepare things like shot lists, props, costumes, etc., it's very important that the script is something that everybody can follow easily, and it's just uniform for everybody. Just makes things a whole lot easier, you know. So this is kind of the basic screenplay elements. So I'm gonna go point. So we have our screen heading, and so this is usually interior or exterior, and then you have the location, which this is Aiden's bedroom, and then the time. So that's how you would place all of that within your scene heading. And the nice thing is that Final Draft also lets you automatically format everything, so you don't have to go in and like find the exact spacing of the margins. You can just simply select what you're writing, and it's going to put it in perfectly.
And can I just quickly say that that is really important for someone who's doing costume. If you're doing a drama,
yeah,
and they need to know, is it in the afternoon? Have they been out running? What are they wearing? Have they had a change of clothes? And they're going to be, that's what they'll look at in the script for every page to work out what the costuming is, for example.
Yes, and then in the second we have our action, and so here it just says the game ends, Johnny concludes his stream. When you're writing your action, it's really important to stick with just the visual and be as simple as possible. The more you add to it, you don't want a huge chunk of action in your page, because then that's like 30 seconds of your screen time, because one whole entire page is about a minute. So in your action, you want to be as simple and precise as possible. It's also really important to highlight any props, like we just mentioned. That way your team knows what key props you need for the scene. And another thing, which unfortunately this example did not show, but if we were to have Johnny be introduced to the story for the first time, his name would be capitalized. So whenever you're introducing a new character in your action, it's really important that you capitalize their name completely in all caps. So that's if you have a new character. And again, yes, Final Draft will put everything in the format for you, and I'll show you guys that too. And then here in the center we have our character, which is again in all caps. The character names in the center are always all caps. These are your parentheticals. You want to use these very, very sparsely. Don't go crazy with these. Your actors are not going to be very happy with that. And then also, you want to be able to read the dialogue. You don't need to read every single little thing. I just included it in this because the character is sleepy, so he just woke up. And then you have your dialogue, of course, and then this is another action line, and then this is your transition. So this comes on the bottom right of the screen, and it's going to basically set for the next scene. Okay, so this is what Final Draft looks like. Basically up here is, it says outline 1 and outline 2, and then you have your scenes. These little gray parts, each one is like sectioned out. And so the way Final Draft does that is that's how you can find your scenes. So what it does is when you create a location, once you create the location, it automatically adds it into your scene outline. And then up here is where you would pick your screenplay element. So this is where you would pick your character, your scene heading. And so actually if we just click it, you can see a little drop down and it'll tell you everything. And okay, we're just gonna add something. Yeah, so if I wanted action, if I wanted a character, it automatically puts it. And yeah, as you can see, is like the more you have characters, it'll autofill your characters for you. So that's also really neat. And then This on the right these are little asterisks. I really like using their revision mode. So once I've kind of put a screenplay in there, and I don't like to touch my first draft, so I will go into up here where it says production, production, and then this right here is your revision mode. So as I type, so it's gonna add like the little asterisks on the right to let me know that I revised that line. So I find that really helpful. And I will say there are a lot of other things within Final Draft that are super, super helpful. You can create beat boards, you can create your own scene outlines inside of Final Draft. However, I think that everybody kind of has their own creative process. So I unfortunately don't use those features. I tend to kind of keep everything on pen and paper and then transfer it to this. I find that that keeps me more focused on my writing. Okay, so this is their website. It's pretty expensive, but they have like an education and they have different plans you can get. Right now it's $200. But yeah, that's just kind of like to get you guys like thinking about like if this was something that you would consider. There are other free options as well. There's Highland 2, and there's also Fade In, which is a website. And those are some pretty good free options. But that is pretty much the end of my presentation, so thank you. Are there any questions?
I just wanted to add, there's also Riot Duet and Celltext.
Okay, let's write them up.